Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. Hi, I'm Karen Mashers, and today we are going to take a look at the colors of fall. The browns, reds, yellow, and oranges. We have wonderful ideas for our meal. Today we're going to be making a caramel and sea salt pecan meringue tort. We're going to be making wonderful and yummy stuffed bell peppers, all colors of fall, and we're going to do a fennel and arugula salad. We're going to put a little lemon zesty dressing on it. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is our pecan meringue tart, and we're going to make a caramel sea salt sauce to put on there. So let's get started with the meringue. 3 egg whites. We're going to put in our bowl and start mixing. You want to bring this up to a soft peak stage. Okay, got this nice and foamy. I'm going to put in my vanilla extract, and I'm going to put in some baking soda. Let's get that going. Okay, take a look at this. You can see that's a beautiful soft peak. Now we're going to take our sugar, a cup of sugar, and put in about a teaspoon at a time. If you want, you can use a sugar substitute too. Just make sure you follow the equivalencies on the back of the package. You can tell that's a nice stiff peak. Okay, let's get that. All back in there. Okay, don't need your mixer anymore. We're going to take some Ritz crackers. This is an old recipe, believe it or not, and I think the Ritz company may have actually invented this recipe. I'm taking about one large sleeve of Ritz crackers, and I'm going to put them in my little Ziploc, and I'm just going to take a rolling pin so I can crush these up nice and good. Just give a smash here. Okay, this is about a cup and about 4 ounces in a sleeve, so that just about makes it right. All right, now we're going to combine the Ritz crackers and a cup of chopped pecans, however you want to say it. Just remember, it's the way you like it. That includes talking. Okay, now this is just a fold in. That's all we want to do is just incorporate this in. Don't want to destroy the meringue, but just a nice fold. All right, that looks nice and done. Let me grab my pan. I have a little 8-inch springform pan, and I have sprayed it with a little bit of cooking spray, and I've got a round of parchment in the bottom, and we're going to just plop this right in. Make sure you get all of those lovely pecans in there. Okay, let's get this out of the way. And what I'm going to do is just scrape this down a little bit. And we're going to spread this out so it's even. Just a nice spread. This is a great dessert in the fall, but it's a great dessert anytime, and it's a real quick dessert. So you can see all nice and even. I'm going to put it in a 350 oven. Okay, This is going to stay in the oven for 30 minutes. Check it at about 25. Make sure that the crust is browning nicely and starting to crack. You want it to be a lovely brown cracked top. Now let's get ready to do our sea salt and caramel sauce. I've got a heavy pot over here on my stove. I'm going to put in 1/4 cup of water, and then I'm going to put in a cup of sugar, and I'm going to put in a tablespoon of corn syrup, the light corn syrup. Let's just get that in there. And I like to make sure it all gets out, so there we go. Let's turn this on. Okay, we're putting this on high. Now, my stove is really high heat, and so it probably will take a little bit less time than it might on an average stove. So we're just going to let this come to a boil, and it'll probably get to be about 350 degrees. If you want to use a thermometer, you can use a thermometer on this. We're just going to let it go. All right, we've got a beautiful amber color. I'm going to turn that off. Let's put this right there just for a sec. I'm going to take this off the stove. I want it away from that hot burner. We're going to let it sit for just a second, and let me get my butter ready. We're going to put in the butter. Boy, that comes up fast. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, because this can bubble up with my cream. And then a little tiny bit of whipping cream. Look at that color. It's beautiful. Now we're going to put in a little bit of sea salt, and I'm using fine-grained sea salt. And this you can adjust the taste if you want to as far as the salt goes. One last little thing. Vanilla extract. And it's done. So we're going to let this sit for a few minutes to start to cool. It'll thicken up as it cools, and then we can transfer it over to our cake or put it in a jar and refrigerate it for further use. So during the cooking time, I took our cake out of the oven, and we're going to pop this. You can see, oh, beautiful golden brown. Okay. And I'm going to just transfer it on the base to my cake plate. Now, this dessert has some options. You can take whipped cream and berries and put over the top. You can do caramel and sea salt. The big thing about it is the way you like it. You can take any combination of things that you'd like to put on top and make it your own. Okay, grab this. And I'm going to leave this right here until I'm ready to put my caramel on at the end of the show. Want this to be cooled down so everything is perfect. We're going to take a quick break right now, have a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to make our stuffed peppers.
Most people couldn't fit 200 local farms on their table. Well, that's where we come in. For the very best of everything local, Lowe's Foods.
Welcome back. It's time to start with our stuffed bell peppers. Now, you can see all the colors, the reds, the yellow, the orange, and the green. You can use all one color if you like. If you don't like the pungent aroma of the green, you can go with the milder yellow and orange. I'm going to use some of each. And the first thing I'm going to do is just cut the top off. And we're going to get rid of that. Take out the seeds and as much of the membrane as you can. And let's do a yellow. And an orange. Now, if your peppers don't stand up, like this one is not going to stand up just as well as the others are, you can cut just a little tiny bit off the bottom and make it square out. Just don't cut too much so that it drains. So we're just going to cut a little tiny bit off the bottom so that stands up. Let's get one more. Let's do another green. All right, this is the first step, and all we're going to do is take these peppers and put them in boiling water, and I've got the water boiling right now. So let me grab a pot holder, and you want enough hot water just to completely cover the pepper. So set those down in there, and we're going to let those go for about 2 minutes. All right, let's cover that back up. And let's start on the next step. I've got my ground chuck, and I've got about 1.5 pounds. And what I'm going to do is start my olive oil. Let's get this going here. Couple tablespoons of olive oil. Just get that in, get that going. And I'm going to put my onions in. Recipe is about 2 tablespoons of chopped onion. If you like more, just add some, because I think I put just a little tiny bit more. And let me get a spoon, because I want this to start sauteing. While I do that, I'm going to grab a plate. All right, nice and warm. And let's get our meat. And these peppers are only going to take about 20 minutes in the oven because everything's going to be pre-cooked. Let's brown this off. I'll turn this down just a little tiny bit. And it's time to take our peppers out. All right, I'm going to make sure they drain, so I'm going to turn them upside down. Okay, last one. Let's just slide this back. All right. Just let those drain out. Smells wonderful. Okay, let's pay attention to our meat here. All right, meat is nice and brown. I'm going to put these peppers right over here, and we've got to do some basil because we're putting basil in our peppers, and I'm going to take about 6 to 8 nice leaves here. Let's just grab that. Give them a nice chop. All right, this is going to go right in with our meat. Now, I'm going to use some marjoram. Now, marjoram is in the oregano family. A lot of people say it is a type of oregano, but it's sweeter and it has a little mintier flavor. You can use any amount that you want in here to taste. I like about 2 teaspoons. Got some thyme, and we're going to put some of that in. Nice and spicy here. Lovely flavor. And give it a little stir. All right, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. I'm going to add a little more in just a minute. And I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to stir in about 3/4, maybe a little less of a can of tomato sauce. That's a 15-ounce can. I'm going to reserve a little bit of that. All right, now let me grab my casserole dish and my olive oil, and we're going to do some peppers. Just take the peppers, stand them up in the dish. And what I'm going to do is drizzle them a little bit with olive oil. I want to drizzle down the sides. Get some on the bottom of my pan. And we're going to use hands for just a minute. A little olive oil in my hand, and I'm going to take each pepper and just rub the outside skin. And we are going to get our meat mixture over here. It's set just for a few minutes, and we're going to add our rice. So let's put this right here. Get rid of these knives. And get my rice. Now, I've used a rice cooker because I like my rice not to have to be watched all the time. So I've got about 1.5 cups of rice, and it's going to go right in with my meat. Nice stir around. All right, let's put this over here. I'm just going to put a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, and I'm going to do a little tiny taste because I want to see what it tastes like. Stir it around just a sec. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, now let's grab a couple spoons. Get that out of the way. And we're going to stuff our peppers. Just take a nice amount and right in. All right, last little bit. Okay, put that right there. Now I'm going to grab this and I'm going to take the rest of my tomato sauce and I'm just going to drizzle some over the top of each pepper. And it'll just go right into the meat as it cooks. Now this is a really fast cooking meal because we've already cooked everything that there is in it, and it won't take long at all. Okay, now this is going to go in a 350-degree oven, and I'm going to cover it with foil. Just make sure it's covered right off the bat. All right, we're going to let this cook for about 10 minutes with the foil on, and then we're going to take the foil off. So let's get this going. We will be back in a few minutes after a word from our sponsor, and we will do our salad.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17 or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
Welcome back. We're getting ready to do our arugula and fennel salad. So, fennel, it's a nice funny looking plant. If you've got good fronds, save them because you can put those in the salad also. We're going to save this a little bit right there because it looks great. What you want to do with fennel is you want to cut it right down the center, right through the center of the bulb. Then there's a core, and you just want to cut through the core, do a nice triangle, nice V shape. A little bit tough, but it works. Okay, we're going to do the other side the same way. It has a wonderful licorice type smell. If you like anise, it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. It's going to go so well with the peppery flavor of arugula. Okay, now you want this to be very thin when you slice your fennel for your salad. You can either use a mandolin or you can do it with your knife. And I'm just going to cut this nice and thin with my knife. Just nice thin slices. And we're going to do both bulbs for this salad. Okay. All right. You know, I think that's going to be plenty. I don't think we need to have more than that. I'm just going to cut up some of these fronds because they've got a lot of lovely flavor in it. And we're just going to put that in. So just sprinkle on top. Let's get it all in there. And the fronds. Now, let's get the rest of our salad done. It's real easy. We're going to use summer squash. Now, I'm just going to take the end off of the squash. And if you've got any bad spots, you might want to remove that. Anything that you don't like. Now I'm going to use my mandolin, and we're going to shave this too. So we've got two different types and two different cuts. Let's take this off. Don't think I need that. All right, I'm just going to nice little thin pieces. All right, let's put this right on top of the salad. And I'm going to do one more half. And we'll be ready to make our dressing. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's put this over here. And throw this right in the salad. Keep all the other pieces. I love to eat stuff like this. Tastes so good. Now we're going to use some fresh thyme. And I'm just going to pull the leaves off. Real easy. Just slide it right down the stem. And those leaves come right off. All right, let's get this chopped up real fast. This smells phenomenal. I'll tell you what, nothing like fresh herbs and spices. Okay, going right on top. And I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of flat leaf parsley. Let's just get this chopped up real fast. Just a rough chop, no need to be real particular. Right on top. Okay, now let's rinse my hands just a second. And we're going to make the dressing. Very simple, very easy. We're just going to take a lemon and about 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice, and we're going to put it into 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. And let's see what we've got here. I think we need a little bit more. Now I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of salt in with my lemon juice and my olive oil. And we're going to shake it up. We want that nice fresh flavor of the citrus and the olive oil together. Now one thing about dressing is that you can let it sit. We're going to dress this right now, but I'm only going to drizzle and I'm going to toss. That way I can decide how much dressing I want, and I don't want my salad to be soggy. I want it to be bright and fresh. So let's take some dressing. I'm going to drizzle a little bit on, just a little bit, and I'm going to do a toss. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to put my cheese in because I'm going to put some more dressing on. And I'm just going to crumble feta cheese up in my salad. And this is something that you can do as much or as little as you like. And if you don't like feta, try something else. Maybe a nice blue cheese or shaved Parmesan would be great. Okay, now it's time for a little more dressing. And it's time for hands. I think that's about enough dressing. And I've got my cheese and my fennel mixed up. And I'm going to take just a little more feta and crumble it on the top. And this is ready to go. I've got to get my peppers out of the oven. We're going to have another word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to show you what we've looked at and done today.
Most people couldn't fit 200 local farms on their table. Well, that's where we come in. For the very best of everything local, Lowe's Foods.
Thanks for joining us at the Coastal Kitchen. I think I've got a wonderful meal ready for me. Fennel and arugula salad. I've got stuffed peppers, sprinkled a little bit of cheese on it. And if you would like to do that, just the cheese of your choice is good. Look at this Tort. Absolutely wonderful. I've got some ice cream with mine, and that's what I'm going to be doing in just a few minutes. My husband did call and say he wanted me to save him a piece and a pepper. So remember, you can find the recipes if you just go to Facebook and search for the Coastal Kitchen. Hope you have a wonderful time in the kitchen just like I do. Take care and see you next time.